Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking all about gold. Yes, gold. There's a huge heavy gold crunch in the game, and we want to talk about exactly what we've been getting pre-patch 5.5 and what we've been getting now in patch 5.5, the gold that they promised us, and whether or not that's actually enough for what we're going to need going forward. Especially we want to consider things like level 85, gear tier 16, which we all know is on the horizon, probably I would say within 2 patches, and we need to consider if the gold that we're getting is actually going to be enough for this. And I think a lot of people are going to fall into this trap, especially with this patch, and maybe for next patch before we get to level 85, that people are going to be spending this gold that they're getting, and they're not going to save enough for when they actually need it, for when the level cap goes live. So we're going to be talking about all of that today, and hopefully we can answer whether or not the gold is enough or not. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Alright guys, so here we are. This is my gold calculator spreadsheet that I produced over the last week or so here, and this is basically going to include all of the sources of gold pre-patch 5.5. We're going to go through this together, we're going to break it down, and then I've also included at the end all of the new gold that we're getting in patch 5.5, and then combining it with this stuff, which way am I pointing? I don't even know which way I'm pointing anymore. And we'll see kind of like what that really equates to, and comparing that with the cost of gearing a new character and leveling up a brand new character. That's another thing that I want to point out as well, because some people forget. Maybe they don't forget. You know, new characters come every single patch, and so they become distractions in some way because they want you to burn your resources on these characters before something major like patch 6.0. I call it 6.0. It's probably going to be like 5.7/6.0. They're probably going to rename it 6.0, and that's when the level cap is going to go up, and whether or not people are going to have the gold to put level 81 plus into your main characters, your arena team, your Doom Raid characters, you might not. And so let's go through this together. So basically the daily objectives we start off here. I think we might be able to zoom in one more time here. Does that cut it off? I think it's still readable, right? Or it's here. Oh shit, that was bad. Okay. We're going to zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see this. And basically the auto win. And now I have this thing here. You can see this after. They actually changed the daily objectives. They kind of mixed things around a bit this patch. And I noticed this after I was kind of checking this on a daily reset. And I was like, wait a minute, things don't line up anymore. So previously the auto win, the 3 auto win campaign things or whatever it was, this was 10,000 before. Now it's 15,000. We'll see how that doesn't matter later on though. Arena's 25,000 gold. Heroes, the Heroes chapter stuff, that's 5,000. Supply purchase 12,000. Now is 45,000. So that jumped up dramatically by 33,000. We'll see how that balances out later. Real-time arena is still 20k. Challenges went down from 15 to 10k. So what does that mean? Well, that just balanced out the 10k to the 15 on the auto wins. So I don't know why they did some of this stuff. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. 10 campaign missions were 15,000. 2 orbs are 25. Gives you a brand total of 127 pre-patch 5.5, not including the after. We'll talk about that later and how it doesn't... I just wanted to show you guys where it got changed. And that gives you a weekly total of about 890,000. I'm going to round up a bit because the numbers are a bit, uneven here. But really it comes down to 890,000, rounded up for your weekly total for your daily objectives. Now, we're going to talk about the raid gold. Now, this has been with Ultimus 7.5 in mind. I think that's because I would say the average player is probably in Ultimate 7 still and not in Doom Raid, so I didn't want to consider Doom Raid gold necessarily. So we're assuming that you're able to, not everyone's going to be able to clear 8 nodes, but this is assuming Ultimate 7.5, 8 nodes per day. You get 14,000 gold per node, and that gives you 112,000 for Ultimate 7.5. Now, this may or may not happen. Admittedly, I don't do Greek Raid 4.3 either, but we are considering 5 nodes at Greek Raid 4.3 instead of maybe 8 at 4.2. So this gives you 9,125 gold per node, which gives you a grand total of 45,625 or like 46,000 rounded up. So if you added both this number and the Ultimate 7 number, you get about 157,000, 158,000 gold per day, and again, timesing it by 7 gives you 1.1 million. These numbers in the red box, that's what's important. That's like the grand total for that section of the gold. Now let's move over to campaign gold. Now you can see this over here. So this is assuming a grand total of 1,000 energy spent. If you pick up all of your free energy plus the 3 free refills at 80, that's 240, plus your 480 that you get from your 450 core refreshes, that gives you roughly around 1,000 energy. So we're going to take a look at the gold that you get from Do More Chapter 3, 2, and 1. So 3 and 2 is actually the same. So I know not everyone's going to be spending campaign energy in the same place, so this might be a little bit higher than what you might actually be doing, because I know that I'm not even spending 900 energy in Doom Raid, but or Do More, but this could be really all over the place a little bit. I put Cosmic Chapter 1 because Polaris is in there, so I think most of us are probably farming up Polaris still in Cosmic Chapter 1. It's a little bit less, of course, 17,000. Anyways, you add up all this total, this is the amount of gold that you're getting out of campaigns. That gives you 94,000, 95,000 a day. Times it by 7, you're getting a weekly grand total of 660,000. So that's the campaign gold there. Alliance War, again, this is the pre-patch 5.5. We'll see as we get to the end, though, where that's changed a little bit and how much more that's changed. This was the old win and loss, 175k and 105k at rank Platinum 1. I actually do think that the average alliance is in the Gold 4 Platinum 1 range. I say this because my baby accounts alliance is still running Ultimate 7.5, but they're in the Platinum 1 war range, even though that they're actually not all that high in the TCP range. Anyways, if you do a 50%, this is a little bit mathy. If you do the 50% win gold ratio, it's not exactly as simple as just adding them up. So if you really want to see the math, it's up here. Basically, I'm taking this and timesing it by 3, which is a week. Taking this and then, yeah, it's a lot. It's very mathy. You can see the formula here, though, in the above bar, if you guys care. It's not really all that important, though, but what's important here is the 420,000 that you'll get weekly if you basically have a 50% win ratio, and that's what's important. We do talk about the Gold Rush Challenge. There's a few things when I was going over this. I was like, man, I forgot all the sources of gold. So we're assuming Tier 14. This is the very last Gold Rush Challenge. You do get 120,000 gold per attempt, so that's 360,000. Orb Fragments, 350. So we are going to get to the Gold Orb Fragments as well, because that's important. There's only really 2 sources of Gold Orb Fragments. I do not consider the Milestone Orbs. I'll say that up front. Maybe I should have said that earlier. I'm not including Milestone Orbs, because that's kind of random. So in terms of the amount of Gold Orb Fragments you might get from that, that's not included in this. And there's a few other things that are not included that we'll talk about when we get to the grand total. But this gets us a weekly gold of 1.08 million gold just from the golds per attempt, and roughly about 1.5 gold orbs per week from the challenges as well. So we'll move down, scroll to the next section, which is the Payday Flash event. This is very simple. This is, again, assuming Tier 7 of the event. If you guys haven't done this, I do recommend getting your mercs up here. It's, it's consistent. It's monthly. It's not a lot. 2.1 million a month is not a lot. But hey, over the course of 4 weeks, we're doing this on a 28-day average. So weekly, this comes out to about 525k a week, which isn't bad. Again, it's consistent. It's going to happen every single month. So, you should try to work towards that if you can. Now, moving over to the third column on the far end, we're talking about ISO 8 gold. We should have probably said this at the same time as I was talking about campaign gold. And for the exact same reason here, we're going to be just doing random sort of missions, because it doesn't matter too much. The gold doesn't change all that much. You see 9775, 9650, and so on. So, and then I just put like 400 more ISO energy. You're probably going to be spending about, I would say, a total of 700 ISO energy. That's with all your free energy that you get daily, plus your free energy pack, plus the 3 times 80 energy refills that you get throughout the day. And that gives you roughly around the 700, 720 sort of energy range for ISO 8 if you're not coring. I will say that despite the changes to the ISO 8 crystals and all of that, I do not recommend you coring for ISO 8 energy. I don't think it's as valuable as it is for campaign energy. So if you really want to spend a lot of your cores, that's how you do it. I guess you would core both ISO 8 and campaign energy, but I really don't recommend doing this, even though we've had the upgrade to it. I think there's more than enough time and energy to farm your ISO 8 crystals if that's what you want to do. Anyways, I should have put this in red. Why did I not? Let's do that. So it should come to a grand total of just around 473k here. Hold that, and there we are. So about 470k gold that stems from the ISO 8 campaign. Now moving on, we have Blitz gold. So we're getting almost closer to the end here. I started off with my Orb Assault. This is the Sunday, basically, Orb Blitzes. You get 110,000 gold from the Orb Assault milestone, 180,000 from the Red Star Blitz. That's 290 just for Sunday. And then you get the Blitz Orb Fragments. Roughly, it's around 2 Blitz Orbs each. And yeah, it's not a lot of gold from the Blitz Orbs, but I do calculate that at the bottom as well. The character Blitzes, you do get about 310,000 out of all of the milestones from that. Times by 2, because you get the Monday and the Thursday Blitz. That gives you 620,000 weekly, and the Blitz Orb Fragments as well. We'll add that all down below, though. So total weekly Blitz Gold, that's 910,000 when you add the 290 from Sunday, plus the 620 from the character Blitzes. And then we talk about the Blitz Orbs here. You get roughly around 9 Blitz Orbs through the week just from the milestones. Calculate that based on a 4,500 gold average. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to say here. You get roughly around 40,000 gold. Okay, so we're almost there. We just have to talk about the gold orb fragments, and this is assuming you're doing a weekly Greek 4.3, or sorry, daily Greek 4.3. You're going to get this amount of gold orb fragments. Now, I took this assuming that you're somewhere in the middle of your alliance. You're ranking 7 to 12 daily. Maybe reasonable, maybe unreasonable. Honestly, the gold orb fragments don't really change all that much anyways between the ranks. It's not really a huge deal. But so this is just under 6 gold orbs a week, because it's 1695 here. So times it by 7, then you get this number here. And then with the weekly gold challenge, this is 3,150 from the previous one over, where was that? Somewhere else, the gold rush challenge over here. And so add that up, you get a total of 7.5 gold orbs, or whatever this number is here. Basically 7.5 gold orbs. And then I'm basing this on a 170k average. Now, this might vary for some people, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But I know, we all know that the gold orb drops are pretty shit. Let's be honest, that they could be doing a lot more. The reason why they didn't improve the amount of gold that came from gold orbs was because a lot of people were hoarding them. So I know Mr. Hartgrave was hoarding like 300 of these or something. That's what he told me here. That's what his streamers said. And so there's a reason why they didn't change the gold orb drops, because there are lots of people out there who are hoarding gold orbs, thinking that that's where the gold change was going to come. So in some ways, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because then those people who did hoard a lot, they didn't get rewarded for doing so. I'm okay with the changes that they did. But anyways, assuming a 170k average, you times 7.5 by that, and you get roughly around 1.276, 1.3 million rounding up. And so that is all of the sources of gold that comes into the game. So let's get to the grand total. Let me take a drink really quick because I haven't stopped talking. Okay. And so that gets us to total gold per week. Add everything up, you get, and let's zoom in because this is really important. Gets us to the grand total of 6.906, but 6.9 million gold per week. Now you divide this by 7 and you get 986k. And so this gives you roughly just under 1 million gold per week. Per day, sorry. And a lot of people were suggesting that the daily gold is somewhere between 1.2, 1.3 million gold. I'm not exactly sure where they got their projections from. Maybe they were overcompensating on the gold orbs a little bit, because they were suggesting we actually got a little bit more than this. I don't know. Maybe their numbers for the gold orbs were higher than what I equated it to. I don't know. Maybe they had a higher gold orb average. I'm not really sure. Again, the gold may vary a little bit, especially with what campaigns you're running and what shards you're farming. It also does not reflect campaign patch events, so this does not count the gold that you'll get from, say, Phyla Bell or Sharon Carter coming up, or any of these other campaign event characters, because that only lasts for 15 days. And I could have included that in there, but you know, I would say it's worth roughly, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I can do this really quickly. If I'm not mistaken, the levels give you what? 900 gold, I thought it was, per 10 energy. Or 700 gold per 10 energy. I don't really remember. But so if you do that, and I think you spend somewhere around 1,000 energy in the campaign event characters per day. So we could do this really easily. 900 by 10, that would be worth 9,000 gold for 100 energy. Times it by 10 again, that's 90,000 for the day. Times 15 days, that's 1.35 million for the month. So if you added that over onto that, sorry, for 15 days, so that's divided by 50. Why did I do that? Doesn't even matter. I kind of screwed that up a little bit. So it's just 90,000 a day. You could just add that on there for 15 days, essentially. So this would be bringing it up to just under 1.1 million then, you know, per day, but only for 15 days. So that's why I didn't want to include it in there. So, but anyways, it's still kind of far from that 1.2, 1.3 million that people were suggesting that we got on a daily basis. So why isn't this enough? Let's talk about patch 5.5 that we're in now, and then we're going to go down to this one here. You can kind of already see it already. I can't really hide it. But basically, after 5.5, we had a daily objective gold increase of 103,000. Now, where did this come from? This came from 25,000 we got for the Strike Initiative. You guys might notice the Strike Initiative specifically objectives. This is the raid battles for 25,000, 20,000 for campaign energy, and 25,000 for ISO 8 energy, and the stuff from above. You might have seen this. Remember this from the beginning of the video here, the daily objectives. So these just canceled out. The challenges and the auto win just cancel each other out. But the supply purchase went from 12,000 to 45,000. So that was an increase of 33,000. These just canceled each other out. So it's basically this plus this plus this plus 33,000 comes out to 103. Now, the War Gold Monthly went up as well, which also means the War Weekly went up. So roughly about 480,000 War Gold Weekly. But if you add all this up together, your total daily gold increase goes up by 170k. And your total weekly gold of about 1.2 million. Now, what does this really mean? So the new net total per week, remember this one up here, 6.9 million. So basically it goes up to 8.59 million gold per week. And the daily goes up to 1.23, rounding up. And so that's a difference of, I don't know, what is that, 240k gold. And now if you divide, it ends up being a 24% difference. So yes, we are getting a 24% increase in the amount of daily and weekly gold. But what does that really mean? Like, come on guys, 240k gold. What does that get you? That gets you what, half a level per character? You know, like one level from 79 to 80 or 75 to 76. That's like 400k gold, right? So okay, so in the grand scheme of things, what does this get you? This gets you half a level, really, per day more. Thank you, great, yay! You know, that's awesome. But let's look at why this isn't enough. So I broke this down by just the leveling gold per range of characters. So level 1 to 60 costs you 1.37 million gold. Level 60 to 70, because this is the Dark Dimension 2 range, this costs you 2.26 million gold. 70 to 75, 1.968 million gold. 75 to 80, 2.125. Now, the difference between 70 to 75 and 75 to 80 is 7.24%. Why is that important? Well, we're going to try and estimate exactly how much it might cost for level to 80 to 85. But you can see here, just the leveling costs you 7.7 million just for levels, you know, just for 1 to 8, 1 to 80. And then when you include the gear and abilities, I don't have the exact breakdown. I know, and we all know it's roughly around 10 million gold when you combine everything together. This is all of the costs to upgrade your gear from 1 to 15 and all of your abilities to 7775. Basically, to max out a character, right now it costs roughly 10 million gold. So let's do an estimate then of what it might cost you when the level cap increases to level 85. So using this metric of 7.24%, you can just, you know, take this number here, this 2.125, times it by 7.24% more, and you get 2.3 million rounding up. Now, this is suggesting that it's going to be a static increase like this. What could happen, and this has happened before, is that it could be a spike in the increase of gold. So what I mean by that is that, say, instead of 400k or 450 per level, it could spike to 700,000 gold per level, something like that. That has happened before, especially from the 60 to 70 range. When you went from 65 to 66, for example, it really jumped a little bit in the gold price. So it wasn't just 7.24% all the way along. You know, so this could jump. So this is me being conservative here, and then this could be what it costs you. So all of these are conservative estimates, but this could spike. Things like the gold cost to upgrade your gear to gear tier 16, the spike to go from 81 to 82 to 83, and so on, that could spike as well. So these are conservative estimates here. So basically what that means is you're looking at roughly an extra 3 million gold, conservatively, to get to level 85 and gear tier 16. Now, that brings that grand total of 10 million gold to 13 million gold. Okay, and that's again conservative estimates, keep in mind here. So it could be more than that, but it'll probably be at least 13 million gold, but it could be more. So keeping in mind that what we got increased was what did I say, 240,000 gold daily. You can kind of see how this feels like a drop in the water, drop in the bucket. I forget the term. Please correct me. But, you know, you can see how this really isn't worth all that much. Because at the end of the day, if they gave us this increase like 6 months ago, drop in the ocean, thank you. You know, if this was 6 months ago and we got this gold increase, it would feel so much better. But the fact that it's only 2 months away realistically to level 85, that it just doesn't feel very good. You know, it doesn't give us enough time to actually accumulate this gold going forward. And it, you know, meanwhile, of course, with all the new characters coming, there's still distractions everywhere. So people are going to get fooled into thinking that, you know, this is really good. But frankly, it's just not. We've not had enough time to develop this gold increase. And with level 85 soon on the horizon, it just feels really, really bad. But let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments down below. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. I know people on Reddit are basically they're saying, you know, this is great. Thank you, Scopely. You know, but like I said, if they gave it to us 6 months ago, I would feel much better about this gold increase. But so close to level 85, it feels like all of the money that we're getting, the new gold we're getting, is just going to get lost. You know, because we're going to lose it going up to level 85, especially when we have 5 characters for Arena and 25, up to 25 characters for Doom Raid that we're going to have to invest in. And that's not even including any of the new characters that come out down the line. So really, the gold crunch is still there. Don't let them fool you, and this just isn't enough. We need more. I mean, we always need more. But in this case, when you look at it, when you look at the numbers, it just doesn't feel very good. But hey, maybe I'm crazy. Let me know if I am in the comments down below as well. So that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for coming along. And yeah, until next time, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. And save that gold, guys, because you're going to need it. Boylon signing out.